Introducing Melisa Rose, who is Haudenosaunee from Akwesasne, Mohawk Nation, currently living and working in Ogapoge, Owinge. She is a home birth midwife who serves Native families living on and off tribal lands through policy work, advocacy, and reproductive justice activism. She is a co-founder of the National Indigenous Midwifery Alliance, a member of Three Sisters Collective, and currently works for Indigenous Women Rising, who funds abortion and out-of-hospital birth services for Native families in New Mexico. Please help me welcome Melisa.
Hi everybody, Sego, Sewagwego, Skinagolgan. I want to thank the organizers here for inviting me to speak today. I want to describe the history of how we got where we are as far as abortion access in New Mexico, the current issues Indigenous folks are facing trying to access abortion, and provide some solutions. But I think it's important to note that the backstory here is 500 years of violence.
Yes!
That has been met with Indigenous resistance. As Indigenous people, we've suffered attacks on our bodily autonomy since colonization. We've lacked abortion access because of colonial laws, conditions, and moral values that are imposed upon us by the church and the state. One lasting effect of residential boarding schools and their assimilation policies is that it's created a stigma around abortion in our communities. I have firsthand professional and personal knowledge of the effects of systemic racism on the bodies of Indigenous people. When I look at the maternal and infant mortalities for Native Americans, I can clearly see the effects of living under white supremacy, of not having culturally matched providers, of living under patriarchal tribal leadership, of being dehumanized in public spaces. We deserve to have access to culturally relevant birth services, behavioral health that honors our needs, access to our traditional foods, access to our sacred areas and spiritually significant sites, protections from our communities being targeted by resource extraction, corporations, and food sovereignty. We have an inherent right to be spiritually well and physically well. Because of our unique political positions as citizens of sovereign nations, one of the obligations of the U.S. government is to provide health care to Native people. This is a guaranteed right through the treaty agreements, which allow settlers to live here. Indian Health Services, which is the delivery system for our access to treaty rights to health care, still refuses to provide abortion except in cases of rape, incest, or a threat to the life of the pregnant person. We have to pay for it out of pocket, which can be between $450 and $10,000. We have to travel from all over the state to go to Albuquerque or cross state lines. Abortion care takes us far from our home and our community and our family obligations. Tribal governments could be exercising their sovereignty in this issue and leading the way for reproductive health care access. There's so much opportunity to utilize the political status of sovereign Native nations to provide better for our people, including birth control options, abortion care, out-of-hospital birth services, sex education, and comprehensive health care. Our ancestors have always had the ability to control fertility in various ways. Of course, pregnancy is celebrated, and the health and well-being of pregnant people and babies is always centered in our lifeways. But historically, the knowledge of reproductive cycles, plant medicines, and techniques for abortion has been passed down, and it's always been a right and a responsibility of women to hold. Indigenous Women Rising is providing much-needed mutual aid to our communities. Like good relatives, we're filling the gaps and stepping up where these colonial systems fail us.
Yes.
Indigenous Women Rising is the only Native-centered abortion fund in the U.S. We're so thankful to our ancestors who fought and died to preserve the knowledge of women's medicine. We're so thankful for the right to care for our relatives according to our original instructions. Having access geographically, being able to provide abortion care for each other, this is our way. This is how we'll be able to thrive. Abortion is traditional, and the right to access safe abortion is sacred.